Makadi Vanavangu, come closer to the fire tonight. The moon is shining softly above the village. The fire crackles gently beneath the stars. And tonight, I want to tell you about one of my happiest childhood memories. The nights we spent at Grandma's hut. Vanavangu. Our grandmother, Mbuya Zihero, did not live very far from our house. But whenever we were told we could spend the weekend at Grandma's place, it felt like we were going on holiday. The excitement would begin long before we arrived. You see, Grandma's hut was different. At home, our mother made sure we worked hard. There was always something to do: fetch water, sweep the yard, wash dishes, help with cooking. But at Grandma's place, life felt softer, life felt slower, life felt sweeter. Grandma never rushed us. She never overloaded us with chores. Instead, she welcomed us with a warm smile and open arms. And Vanavangu, the food. The food at Grandma's house was something special. Even today, when I close my eyes, I can almost smell it. Grandma cooked mufushwa. She cooked nieve. She cooked delicious relishes mixed with peanut butter. But what made the food taste different was not only the ingredients, it was how she cooked. Everything was prepared in clay pots over an open fire. No aluminum pots, no modern stoves, just clay pots and glowing firewood. The aroma would fill the whole yard. The smell of smoke mixing with the food created a flavor that cannot be copied. Then she would serve steaming sadza alongside the relish. We could not wait for mealtime. Sometimes Grandma prepared munhuchu. In those days, maize was processed by hand. The maize would be placed inside a duri. Then people would use a mutho to pound it carefully. Boom, boom, boom. The sound echoed across the village. Women worked together while talking, laughing, and sharing stories. The outer covering of the maize would slowly come off. Then Grandma would cook the munhuchu until it was soft and delicious. Nothing was wasted in those days. Everything came from hard work. Everything came from the land. As the day passed, we played with cousins, we chased chickens, we climbed trees, we explored the village. But nighttime was the best part. As darkness covered the village, Grandma would begin preparing supper. Sometimes she cooked goat meat, sometimes beef, sometimes savory dishes that filled the entire homestead with wonderful smells. Again, everything cooked slowly in those beautiful clay pots. The fire glowed orange beneath the stars. The moon watched from above. Then supper would be served, and Vanavangu. There was something special about how we ate. The boys sat together and shared one large plate of sadza. Beside it was one large plate of relish. The girls sat together with Grandma and shared another large plate of sadza and relish. Everyone ate from the same plate. Everyone shared. Nobody complained. Nobody demanded their own plate. We were taught that family eats together. The elders always started first, then the older children. The youngest child was always the last to take a morsel of sadza. Even when eating meat, the youngest waited patiently. But there was something beautiful about our family. If the meat was not enough, everyone would break off a small piece from their portion and place it in front of the youngest child. A piece from Grandma, a piece from an aunt, a piece from an uncle, a piece from an older cousin. Soon the youngest child would have a little pile of meat, sometimes more than everyone else. Nobody felt cheated, because seeing the youngest child happy made everyone happy. That is how we learned love. That is how we learned sharing. That is how we learned family. After supper, the adults talked quietly around the fire. The dishes were washed. The stars filled the sky. And soon it was time for bed. There was no electricity, no television, no bright lights. Grandma would light her paraffin lamp. Its warm yellow glow filled the hut. The lamp helped us spread our sleeping mat on the floor. Then Grandma would bring one large blanket. And Vanavangu, all the grandchildren slept together on the same mat. Sharing one blanket, nobody complained. Nobody needed a bed of their own. We simply squeezed closer together. listening to the sounds of the night, the crickets singing outside, the crackling fire growing quieter, the gentle glow of Grandma's lamp. Then came the moment we waited for all day. Grandma would clear her throat, smile softly, and say, "Paivapo." Once upon a time, immediately everyone became silent. The stories had begun. Stories of Suro Nagudo, stories of clever animals, stories of brave children, stories that taught lessons about life. The fire danced, the stars twinkled, and we listened. Sometimes we laughed so hard our stomachs hurt. Sometimes the stories frightened us. Sometimes they taught us wisdom we would remember for years. One story became another, then another, until our eyes became heavy. Then Grandma would smile lovingly and say, "Goodnight, Vazukuru Vangu." One by one, our eyes closed. And before long, we were asleep beneath the village stars, safe, warm, loved, and surrounded by family. The grandmother looked softly into the fire. Then she smiled and said, "Vana Vangu, the greatest treasures are not always money. Sometimes they are memories, a grandmother's cooking, a family meal, a fireside story, a shared blanket, a grandmother's goodnight. Those are the treasures that stay with us forever." Then softly, Mbuya Zihero began singing, "Uyayizwe ndoda yekokana, uyayizwe ndoda yekokana. Yiti sigenge, sigege khaipa kazana, zunoziva, zokwanangu, vana vangu." If you enjoyed tonight's story, please like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment below. Tell me, what food did your grandmother cook that you still remember today? Until we meet again around the fire. Irare vakanaka vana vangu. Good night, manheru akanaka.